Welcome back to Where Blades Walk. We are celebrating the Steel City Derby result here. We're also asking about Hamer and his position. Are refereeing standards getting worse? And because of the American election last week, what is the best North-South American import at Sheffield United? But before all of that, let's celebrate, shall we? Did we enjoy that, Shax?
Just a bit. My voice is a bit gone, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Incredible atmosphere on the TV. Lucas, who impressed you?
I think Harry Souter again. Him or Susie. He's an absolute brick wall. And he absolutely smashed into their striker and all. It was brilliant.
Some nice tackles going in, weren't there? Properly. Connor, for you, who impressed?
I thought when Wilder made the substitutions at half time and brought Sariki on, I thought he really impressed going down that right hand side. Obviously, him and Gilchrist are total opposites in terms of what they do, and I thought he really added in terms of going forward that goal threat.
Okay. As a neutral, I can say this, Dan, but I thought Wednesday were the better team in the first half.
I'm not so sure about being better team. I just maybe we were playing a little bit of a game of chess, and then once they'd moved one of the pieces, second half, they've allowed Hamer and O'Hare to get on ball, and I'm not so sure why they did cheat. I listened to their manager after the game, and they changed shape, and I'm not so sure why you do that when you're going to come and sit in and try and frustrate us, and they've tried to move something around, and we've capitalised on that. So I'm not so sure. I think for me, I thought it was looking back, I thought it was a comfortable performance. They never really look like they were going to hurt us. We'd probably still be playing now, and I don't think they would. And that's not being arrogant. I just think our back four and our goalkeeper just like granite. To be fair, so yeah, that's that.
Yeah, very, very impressive. Should Bannon have seen red for you, Shax?
Yeah, 100%. Well, I don't. From where I sit, it were a red. Obviously, I think him just walking on pitch should be a red. But yeah, for me, it looked a bad tackle. It looked high. It looked late, and it did look like a red to me. Like Dan just said though, like when you said they were a better team, I think when you come to a game and you set up with like 8 at back plus your keeper, I mean it's like a training game. It's sort of like attack versus defence, and then we've just got to sort of just pick them apart. Obviously, at first half, I don't think we really laid a glove on them, but they didn't offer anything, did they? You know what I mean? They just come for a 0-0. I remember them chucking the shirts in crowd when they got a 0-0 at Bramall Lane last time, and it were like that's all they were there for again today. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't think they were a better side in first half at all. I just think they were just there to defend, and obviously they defended well, but you can't rely on that forever. You know what I mean? You're going to get beat at some point.
Okay, Lucas, how was it for you? Obviously, as a young fan, you've not seen too many of these games. Did you enjoy the atmosphere, the build up? Could you enjoy it or not?
No, not at all. For the worst 90 minutes of my life, I'll be honest. But a good when we scored, I was proper nervous, but I'm straight glad we've won. To be fair, and I don't know. I didn't even think we played well, like compared to what we've been playing. Like, yeah, I thought it was quite cagey, but I'm glad we found a way to win.
Absolutely. Who cares? Absolutely. Chris Wilder's celebration at the end, Connor, was like he'd won the FA Cup. Is that something you like to see as a fan, your manager doing? Or, I mean, the Wednesday fans have already been on Twitter saying it feels like you've won the league. The celebrations were, do you think, a little bit over dramatic or not?
No. I mean, end of the day, is a boy of Blade, so he's going to have that bit more reaction than what, say, Danny Rowe would have if Wednesday would have won. End of the day, he's connected to the club from pretty much since he was born. He's been a Blade, and then like I say, they can say all this about he's overreacting, but end of the day, if it were the other way around and they'd be going nuts, and then if we said that to them, it'd be a different story. You know what I mean? So every manager's going to do it. Every manager celebrates a win at the end of the day, and then sometimes people just decide to have a problem with it for whatever reason. But I don't see any issue with it.
They're still celebrating a win from 1993. So I mean, if Wilder's not allowed to jump about at full time, then
Absolutely. Dan, other talking points from the game, of course, were about Hamer and his position, or what his best position is in. He's got the man of the match on Sky. Was he? First of all, was he your man of the match? And is he in his best position there?
Well, to be honest, he didn't really play centre mid. He played left of a.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
He played left. He played left of a three, and I think at the start of the season it's probably where he's been most effective. But since we've rotated in the last few weeks, we've not any suspension. We've not seen a lot of him in there really. But it weren't my man at match. I'll be honest. I thought the opening question that you asked about who everyone's man at match were from today, I thought Sidney Peck come on today and was absolutely outstanding. And for me, other than Harry Souter, I thought Peck was outstanding. He wanted every little battle. He wants to be there, shoving people around. The block tackle that he made, which had 1-1 written all over it, was incredible. But as for Hamer, I'm quite happy with him where he is. To be honest, I think he can cut inside, get shots off. You look at the goal. He's coming off that left side, and he's got in there and then popped it into O'Hare, and we've scored. But he did that also against Bristol City the other night when when O'Hare advances a little bit, he drops in field. So I think it's a little bit of a roaming free space. I like it for him, to be honest, because I think he can pop up anywhere for you, and he's just dangerous.
Okay. Shax, the social media was obviously full of congratulations. We're saying the City is and always has been red and white. Sam goes on to say Harry Souter was outstanding, as you guys have mentioned. Wilder's done an unbelievable job to get us defensively organised. We worked so hard off the ball. It's a massive change from last season. Brilliant as a fan. You've not conceded at home since that QPR second goal way back in late August, early September. I forget which month it was in. But what's been the reason for that?
Well, obviously, new signings from last season. I mean, Souter gets a lot of praise, and he were brilliant today, don't get me wrong. But I think Anel as well today. Anel, just brilliant, just reads game. Every time Souter takes them few steps forward to come and win a ball, Anel's always watching what he's doing. If it does beat Souter, which it very rarely does, but Anel's always there. I think you've got Burrows, Gilchrist first off. They're both. Well, Gilchrist definitely defensively minded, but Sariki, when he come on, he's a bit more attacking minded. But they all, a lot of them. It's not just Souter. I think it's everybody in that, and even midfielders. You've got Sousa, he drops back when they've got ball. He's almost like another centre half. So you've got three of them in there. And I mean, he's just from last season when you're watching us getting absolutely tonked every week. I mean, there's only Anel and Sousa that were Anel and Sousa that were part of that. But somebody somewhere needs some credit because they've changed them from like a defence like a sieve to like a brick wall, really. So they've done well.
Okay. All right. Before we move on from the derby, any more shout outs we need to do from anyone at all? We missed anyone out that the fans need a shout out? Thought they were brilliant all game.
Tyrese Campbell obviously scored a goal, but I thought he worked right hard as well that first half as well. He didn't really get much at ball, but he was running, and then obviously he got his goal. 3 and 4. I think he's beat Brewster's 4-year total in 4 games. So when I keep hearing people saying, "Oh, where a goal's going to come from?" Well, he's answering that question, isn't it? Because I think he's overtook Kiefer Moore. Like I said, he scored more in 3 games or 4 games than Brewster's done in 4 years. So I think it could be good for us.
Yeah, great shout. Any others?
Surprisingly, actually, I didn't mind O'Hare today for a change. I thought, to be honest, obviously he created the goal with the assist, and I thought his work rate was really good today. I'm glad to say something positive about him for a change.
Yeah,
touching on what Lucas just said there, I know Shax mentioned it. It might have been last week or week before about O'Hare. I think there's a reason he plays every week. I think there's a reason he's very good at getting back behind the ball. You look at Bristol City, he's triggered the sending off. I think there's a lot of stuff that Callum O'Hare does that probably goes a little bit unnoticed and probably gets a little bit of unfair criticism, but he's each to their own on that, to be fair. But I think he's certainly growing. It's took him a bit of time, but he's certainly growing into our playing. I've seen with the last 2 performances.
Okay. All right, we'll leave the derby there. Sheffield Wednesday are investigating some fan as well, displaying some awful message, of course, as well. And we certainly hope that Wednesday do find out who it is and ban them for life, because we are sick of seeing stuff like that. Obviously, there's no place in football. The referee, I thought, was okay-ish in your game, but generally, Lucas, we've seen some very poor refereeing over the Championship in this first third of the season. I want to ask you two questions, Lucas. For you, is it getting worse? And do you think it's now time for a conversation about VAR?
I don't want to see VAR in Championship. I don't really care too much about the Prem. I think it does work to a certain extent, but when there's just silly little offsides, it's got a different rule every day. Like it's not consistent whatsoever. And the refereeing standard's always been bad, but it's recently I think has been getting a lot worse.
Okay, Connor, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to remember a game when referee doesn't spoil it for one way or another. And especially, I mean, I understand in terms of VAR when there's silly offsides and crazy stuff that happens. But in terms of the overall experience of the match, when you've got VAR, you don't want to celebrate a goal because you just think it's going to get rolled out for some silly offside. And I think it's in terms of we need to up the standard of the refereeing before we actually need to think about introducing VAR to any other level, because they get it wrong every week in Prem, and it's a case of they're going to do that and then bring it into the Championship. Exactly the same thing's going to happen, and I think for me, just keep it in Prem.
I think. Sorry to interrupt. I think the problem is that it has got worse. I think the Premier League are relying too much on that, so they're not bothered about making a correct decision because it falls back on that. But I said it in the opening 2 or 3 podcasts that we did. I think it has to happen in the Championship because I don't want it to, but I think it has to because I think the officiating is so bad. I mean, today there's been a free kick given to Wednesday when their goalkeepers jumped over Burrows, and I just wanted to go home. I'll be honest, because decisions like that, it's shocking. It's just they're easy decisions that can be made on a Sunday morning at a grassroots game that a referee give, just play on. It's not anything. I don't understand it, but we are going that way of VAR, sadly.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Last question this week then is all about obviously America. We've asked ChatGPT and other AI products to predict and give us the 3 top South or North American influences on Sheffield United. So I'd like you to see if you can pick off what it came back with. Shax, for you, there's not been too many here, but
can we have Canadian as North American?
You can have Canadian as well. Yeah.
Paul Pescasolido.
Absolutely, yeah. Is there? Yeah. Any others?
Oh yeah, for me, Austin Trusty.
That's a good show.
Are we doing just North America, or are we doing South as well?
Well, it's North and South America in the biggest input.
I'm going to say Marcelo.
Obviously,
Any more?
Vinny Souza, obviously.
Souza, yeah, that was there as well. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Good. Okay, if you can beat that, drop us a comment below. Next week, of course, after the international break, we're off to Coventry, where it's a reunion for Hamer and Callum O'Hare with their old club. We'll be previewing that this time next week. Join us for that. Congratulations on winning the derby. We'll see. Well, is it March? It's March, isn't it?
March,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Look forward to doing the double over them in 4 months' time. Thank you very much for watching. Do drop us a subscribe if you haven't yet done so already. We really love all the love we've been getting. Thank you very much for sharing and all your comments. We'll see you next week to preview Coventry.